In today's video, we're going to play with some chemicals, we're going to mount a weird Malaysian hood scoop to the Samurai, we're going to do some rust repair, but before we get to that, I want to button up some of the work that I was doing with David in the last episode, and get David on a plane back home so he can go back and work on his own stuff. I've already learned some really valuable lessons this year just because I've had so many people come over and help me over the last couple months that it's taught me that just because I can and I want to do everything myself doesn't mean I should. Sometimes it helps a lot to have someone with a slightly different skill set come in and give you a hand and get you to that next step, because not only are we able to divide and conquer, but there's a lot of conversations that are had and different techniques that are shared that are extremely valuable.
We can go to the airport now.
Having David here for a few days was a tremendous boost, but now we've only got like 4 days until I leave for Moab, so we're going to switch gears off of all that work that we're doing on the inside. My new special hood scoop showed up from Malaysia. I'm laughing because I can already see what the comments are going to say. This is going to be like a clear Mason-Dixon line between people who think it looks amazing and like, you know, it's kind of JDM, I guess. It's Malaysian spec, or people that think it looks like trash. In any case, we need a hood scoop because, as you can see, we can't close the hood. The hood right now is on the engine. So once we trim the hood and get it to where we can shut it, then we can figure out how to fit this thing up. It's fiberglass, and everything I've ever gotten from fiberglass for any vehicle fits really sloppy, and it's basically up to you as the installer to make it fit right. So I've got to decide if I want to make this a bolt-on hood scoop or if I want to take the time and actually marry this to the hood. After taking a few minutes to consider all my options, I think that it is going to be far easier to just marry this to the hood than to make it removable. So that's the plan. We're going to stick this to the hood. We're going to do our best to clean up all the bodywork on the hood and make this look good enough for Sema in October. I need to sand and remove this paint regardless, and so just to make it a little bit faster process, I went to the auto parts store, I got some chemical stripper, and the stripper these days works okay, not like the old stuff with the really toxic chemicals, but it still does the job in helping get us, you know, a nice head start and making it to where it's a lot easier to remove any remaining paint because it's been softened up by these chemicals. Finding a Suzuki Samurai hood in America that is in good shape is very, very difficult now. These are old. I found some repop units on eBay that were really expensive from India, and I was very tempted to order one, but even the reviews said that you're going to get it with little dings and stuff. So this is the best one that I could find locally. We've got one ding up here that is not a big deal at all. 2 ding, 3 ding, 4 ding, 5 ding. These are low enough that I could just throw some body filler over that, which normally I wouldn't do, but I'm telling you, like, you run your finger across it, you could barely even feel that they're there. These two, I'm going to pull out a little bit and work with a hammer. I can't get a dolly on the backside, but if I pull it and I just kind of massage it with a hammer, then we throw a little Bondo over it, those are going to be money. This is a problem, and I would bet this is probably a common problem. This is where the battery is in the Samurai, and clearly the acid from the battery slowly ate away this corner. So I might chop this out and just get rid of the vent, but we'll see. It's pretty pitted out. But first, before we do any of that, I want to figure out a great way to attach this hood scoop. And being fiberglass, you know, there's just nothing lines up great. I can clamp the front, I can clamp the back, but I don't have any clamps big enough to clamp here. So what I think we're gonna do is run some screws, and if I can find some tapered screws, we might leave them in there, but if I can't, we'll just, we'll glue it down with this fiberglass reinforced Bondo, and then once it's all cured, I can pull the screws back out and we'll just epoxy over the holes.
For thinking about it for a few minutes, I came up with a strategy, and that strategy is as follows. I start by roughing up the mating surface with some rough 40 grit emery cloth. Then I figured we're using fiberglass reinforced Bondo, which is actually really strong. We can use this as like a fiberglass rivet if we just drill a bunch of holes along the mating surface. And then on top of that, if I feel like we need to, I can use some really nice, like low, almost flush rivets on top of that to basically like completely join this fiberglass hood scoop to the steel hood. And even though it's going to be going through a bunch of different heating and cooling cycles and whatnot, I think that because we're going to have basically fiberglass rivets, some real rivets, and then we're going to have it adhered with an epoxy, which is this fiberglass reinforced Bondo, I've got a lot of confidence moving forward that this should stay on here. For anybody watching who's new to bodywork, I highly recommend using acetone in between recoats. Whether it's body filler or you're doing a bunch of fiberglass work or you're just gonna paint, make sure that you blow all the dust off your surface, hit it with some acetone, and then hit it one more time with that air nozzle to make sure that you completely evaporate the acetone. It makes a giant difference in these different chemicals' ability to adhere. So what you're not seeing me film a whole lot, but something that I do in between every single recoat, is that I hit it with acetone first, just to make sure that I'm getting maximum adhesion between each layer.
You know, my shop's a nightmare right now, just because the dust that you produce when you're doing a project like this. But honestly, I love bodywork. It's very satisfying. I'm not the best at it or anything like that, but it's very satisfying. There's something almost meditative about it. And whenever you get to a point like this, you know, we're halfway through the project. I've already poured tons of hours into this, and I have very little to show for it, but it's still satisfying to look at it. We've got a weird Malaysian hood scoop stuck to a Suzuki Samurai hood now. So now what we're doing, I'm not having to build anything anymore. We're at a point where we're able to just kind of start to level off with some regular body filler. So just to real quick recap, I've got this riveted down with 12 rivets, plus we epoxied it down with this, this fiberglass reinforced body filler, which this is an epoxy, believe it or not. So that bond I feel like is gonna be very nice and strong. And then we covered it with the fiberglass body filler to go over the tops of all of our rivets to like encapsulate them in there. And now we're just adding regular, traditional, good old-fashioned body filler. I highly recommend, if you're new to bodywork, to spend the money on some good body filler. This stuff sands so much easier, and because it's like finer, it applies easier. It's a little bit more expensive, but U-Pole is usually the brand that I go for. I've used a bunch of different products of theirs. This is not sponsored at all. They probably have no idea who I even am. I'm just telling you that this is what I prefer. And if you're someone who's looking into doing any body work, this is a great brand to look at if you're in the market to do something like this. So the next step, we're not having to build up anymore. Now all we're doing is we're starting to like refine. So I'm gonna go through, I'm gonna knock the tops off of all this. I'm gonna do a really fine layer of body filler. And then while that's curing, we can get started on this rust repair. This is a really delicate piece. I mean, it's pitted out. This bottom rim is gone, giving it no structure. So it can very easily move around. And if you look over here, not so easy. Like, this is so much more firm because it's got solid structure along the bottom. All that structure gives out right here. So anyway, originally I wanted to chop this out, build a little patch panel and repair it that way, but I want this factory Samurai look, which is going to be so much more work, but I think so much more worth it. So we're going to use a combination of tactics to repair this instead of just chopping it out and replacing it. First, there is like a cross member that holds and supports it back here that I think we need to remove all the rust and then weld the skin to the cross member.
There's actually quite a few ways to remove rust these days, like lasers and all kinds of stuff, but the most common way to do it is still just a wire wheel. Now you can use chemicals, and chemical rust removal works really well as well, but because we're going to be welding over the top of this stuff, I don't want to get a bunch of weird chemicals in here. So for me, I'm just going to wire wheel it a whole bunch of times. I'm going to use acetone over and over and over and a wire wheel over and over and over to get as much rust as I can out of this. And then we're going to reinforce it with some more of that fiberglass body filler.
See that guy? That is a straight piece of steel. And unfortunately, the sides of this hood are not straight. And so this is one of those times where it's nice to have specialty tools. Even though I only use my shrinker and stretcher like every year and a half or so, when you need one, it's really nice to have. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna place this in the shrinker. We're gonna shrink this side down, and it should slowly pull this and round it out and give us the little bit of taper that we need to match the profile of the hood. You see a little taper on there? It's not perfect. I'm gonna keep working it back and forth between the shrinker and the stretcher. You can see what I'm going for.
It's not uncommon for people to do repair like this with fiberglass alone, but to be honest with you, this is one of those situations where you kind of need a bunch of different techniques in order to get what you want. I don't have the tooling in here to replicate that little vent, that factory stamped vent, and I don't think that fiberglass alone is gonna be strong enough to like withstand, you know, me opening and closing this hood over and over and over in the coming years. So that's why we're going to use a little bit of steel structure to make it stronger on the bottom side, and then we can fill the rest and shape it with fiberglass.
We're down to the wire. I'm gonna be going to Moab in hours, and I need to work on my wife's Gladiator, but I also need to finish this video. Let's check out the Samurai hood. Before we judge the craftsmanship, what do you think of the look overall? I actually really like it a lot. I think that it's super unique here in the States, just because very few people take the time to import stuff like this grill I imported from Japan, and we modified to fit. And, you know, like do the research to find a Malaysian trend. Like I see these on Jimneys all over the place whenever I see stuff from that part of the world. And so I really like bringing that kind of style here to the States. So I really like the style overall. Now, as far as craftsmanship, Everything is looking exactly where it should at this point of the process. So we've sanded it down with 150. Now we've done our first coat of primer, and this allows us to see like small imperfections and stuff that are really difficult to detect with the naked eye without, when everything's multiple colors and whatnot. So now we can hit the whole thing with 220. I can add any filler anywhere that I need to. Like there's some tiny pinholes here and there. We'll see if you can even see that. Tiny, tiny pinholes. Every so often you'll see one. So this is at a really good point for now. What I want to do is leave it like this until most of the Samurai is done being fabricated, because this hood has to come on and off and on and off a bunch of times. And then when the Samurai's, all the fabrication's done, I can spend one more day. We'll hit this with 220. We'll hit it with another like really heavy coat of primer. And then my plan is to wrap the whole Samurai when it's all said and done. Now, how about our repair? I think that it looks really nice. I think that if you didn't see me do all this work, you wouldn't think twice about that at all. It is really common for people to use a lot of fiberglass in this kind of stuff. I felt like I had to use some steel to give it a little bit more backbone. And this thing is hard. Like it feels nice. I'm going to reinforce with a little bit of fiberglass on the back. Now that it's like cured, I'm just going to wipe a little bit more of that fiberglass body filler around where there was like a hole here. But other than that, I think that this is fine for a rock crawler hood. Let's be honest, the odds of me not rolling this in the next 5 years of hardcore trail use, pretty much zero. So this hood is gonna look really good until the first time I roll it. I hope you enjoyed the video. Sorry for my voice. Spring has sprung and I've got some allergy things going. So now my friends at Northridge 4x4 sent me front axle disconnect to install in the wife's Gladiator. I gotta get this in so we get on the road and head down to East Ridge Safari. So this comes out on Sunday. I will already be in Moab, so if you see me in Moab next week, make sure you come say hi, and I'll be at the Onyx Off-Road booth on Friday from 12 to 2. So if you want to come hang out and talk about trucks or whatever, come see me. See you later.